Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please be seated. You know, it's indeed an honor to once again be up here in New York this evening. I want to extend my greetings to Senator Chuck Schumer. Thank you so much, Chuck, for the warm greeting here today. Also, our fantastic Secretary of Education. You know, we were talking on the way up here this afternoon about some ways that we can go about making teaching a better profession. And that's some of the things I'm going to talk about tonight here. You know, we're just a few short days in some districts. I know back home in Texas, we're a few short days away from starting a new school year. And we need to look at how we're going to go about getting our children educated. You know, we're coming off a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and we need to really work hard to get these test scores up, our reading and math scores, because honestly, and like I was telling Chuck and telling our Secretary of Education coming up this afternoon, you know, you have the future of our country in your classroom. It's your job to get them ready. And I'm going to pledge to you, my administration is going to pledge to you everything that we can do to give you the resources that you need to make yourself successful, to make your district successful, and to make your children successful. That's the number one reason that we come to school, that you come to school every day, is, and I'll paraphrase a great educator that I know quite well. She does a phenomenal job back in Texas, but she says to educate these babies, and that's what you do. You know, I've had the good fortune to be married to a full-time educator for over 20 years. Andrea has served in classrooms as an elementary school teacher. Early on in our marriage, she wanted to teach summer school. After teaching a full school year, she said at the time it was for extra pay. Now get this, you just taught a full 9 months, and for any of those, I know I'm talking to a crowd who does that all the time. For those who haven't done it before, teaching 9 months is a grind and a strain. Now she wanted to teach summer school, and I asked her why. It was for the extra money, and I will tell you, quite honestly, we were a young couple just starting to get going, and we wanted that extra money and to do things, and so she did it. But here's the next problem we had. At the end of summer, as the fall term approached and summer school winded down, she was tired. She was tired, not fully charged and ready to take on another 9 months of school. Now, how do we solve Andrea's problem? And I'm sure it's in this room here tonight. How do we solve that problem throughout this room tonight, throughout New York, and throughout the United States? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a plan that I believe will not only solve my wife's problem, but many of your problems throughout this room and again throughout the state and throughout the country. And that is to increase teacher pay. You ask, how are you going to increase teacher pay, especially from a federal level when it's actually controlled from a state level? Well, here's what we're going to do. Under my administration, we will return the federal budget to the 2019 spending levels, reduce unnecessary federal programs, and use the differences to fund the increases. Now again, I understand that that is a state job where they actually pay you your salaries, but we will enable grant money to offset the expenditures on the state level in order to give you increases in pay. Secondly, we must restore a true curriculum to the classroom. We must get rid of this so-called woke education and return to teaching the basics, the ABCs, history, the good, the bad, the ugly. We must return a sense of patriotism to our classrooms. When I was in high school, I had a government teacher who was from a different political party, but he never once, during my time in his class, he never once tried to instill his political beliefs upon me or his students. He taught us how government works and instilled a sense of patriotism and pride in our class and me as an individual. And he taught you a willingness to serve your nation. Serve your nation. So much of our young men and women in today's schools can see that as a kind of a call to action, to give back to your communities, to serve your country, to serve your state, and to serve your nation. School nutrition is another element of my Back to Basics program. Every day throughout the nation, children get up, get ready for school, and arrive hungry. They go to school, oftentimes look at what is offered there in the cafeteria line and simply throw it in the trash. We must improve school nutrition. When a child goes hungry, and that is not a good environment to learn, it affects them. It affects their ability to learn. It affects the overall environment of school. So we got to improve school nutrition, and I will make that pledge under my administration. We must take pressure off our classroom teachers while at the same time keeping our standards up. In many states, our nation's teachers are pressured to teach the test, not teach the actual subject. They will teach what is on a curriculum, and that only. Under my administration, that will come to an end. Under a Rogers administration, the testing will continue, but it will be used as a measurement, not tied to the future of the teacher. In other words, we're not going to hold the test over the teacher. So many times they have been held accountable. In some parts, now they will still be held accountable, but not to the same extent they are today. You know, these are just a few of the steps I've outlined here today that I believe that we need to take as a country to get our education system back where it needs to be. You know, and there has been president after president after president who has committed to education, who has implemented new plans, and mine's just another one of those plans. But I am going to commit to you here tonight, in this very room, that I will do the very best that I can do to see Back to Basics introduced into Congress, passed through the House and Senate, and given to the White House for signature. I'll do my very best, because we have everything to lose in this country for not doing that. I thank you very much for your time, and may God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.